waste a moment here. I don't want to waste a moment. I don't want to waste a moment here at all. I don't want to waste a moment.
And that music you're hearing in the background is in their thousands. And we're making a phone call all the way to Tory Island, which is 9 miles off the north coast of Donegal. And we're going to speak to the king of Tory Island, Patsy Dan Rogers. And I love, anytime I can promote County Donegal, I do it because my mother's from Pettigo in Donegal. And there seems to be the Free State government has been almost historically, they have CIE tours that can't get past Sligo or Galway or Mayo where they have to make a U-turn and head back down to Dublin. But we want to highlight what's going on there. And Patsy Dan has recently been at demonstrations down in Dublin, which we'll get into later on, about the boat that takes you out there. Patsy Dan, are you with us?
Yes, indeed, and what an honor.
No, let me tell you, it's our honor to have you on. And I was talking to your daughter before. We have made phone calls to Dublin, over to Galway or Belfast, and we couldn't get as good a reception as we're getting right now in Tory Island, 9 miles off the coast of Donegal.
Good. That is quite surprising.
Yes. Now, Patsy, maybe you could tell our American audience a quick history of Tory Island and how did 130 people end up on this island and have been living there for so long?
Yes, well, many hundreds of years ago, that we would have 300 to 400 people on Tory Island, population on Tory Island. But it has been a hard life, definitely, over the winters. But now with better ferry service, it's more easier and much easier to get to the mainland to and from Maharoti, which is the nearest port of Tory Island. We have now 2 ferries running between Tory Island and Maharoti, and good service. And we hope to have a better service in the next 2.5 years when we'll have a new ferry, hopefully from the Minister for the Gaeltacht, which is the Minister from Eireann looking after Gaeltacht Islands. And he's hoping to give us a ferry that will be more modern and stabilizers on this ferry. Hopefully that it will be much easier at sea to make the crossing to and from Tory Island.
Now, Patsy, in all the write-ups about 2 weeks ago, I was listening here in New York City to RTE Radio doing a documentary on yourself and Tory Island. And I would recommend our audience just go to RTE Radio documentary and just slash Patsy Dan Rogers or Tory Island. And you're advertised as the last king in Ireland. Now, it's not hereditary to be the king of Ireland. How did you become the king of Ireland?
Well, my predecessor, which died in the coming up to 1990s, and then the son and the daughter, which the son had been a powerful musician or a box player, and the daughter a guest house owner, very, very powerful on the island, and lucky to have them. And their father had the honor of for 45 years. So they have approached me and said, would you like to have the honor of our father? And I said, gosh, it would be absolutely an honor, but I can't accept the honor of the king unless the community really wants me to be the king of their island, of our island. And then we had a big night on the 19th of September 1992 when they gave me the honor of the king on Tory Island. And I said to my wife, which the ferry have started service between Tory and the mainland at the same date, 1992. We had no ferry service until that. And I said to my wife and family, it's little enough for me now to go down the pier and welcome every visitor of thousands coming back to Tory Island, visiting Tory Island, and to welcome them off the ferry to step on Tory Island pier.
And Patsy, what are the other roles as being king of Ireland? Or Tory? Is it of Tory Island or is it of the whole country?
Now, I would not like to. I would like to keep my head on my shoulders, so to say, And many visitors would say, where is your castle and where is your crown and so on. No, there's no disrespect to the crown, no disrespect to having a castle, but struggling here with I'm an artist for 50 years, a primitive artist, and my artwork helps me to develop my home and what have you. And then, as far as disputes on the island, which we haven't any disputes really, heavy disputes really, but if there is anything that has been that the community wish to be settled, then I will try and do my best to play my part in that dispute if there is a dispute.
And how do people on the island, I think there's 130, 140, make a living on the island?
Well, we have a number of fishermen, of course, and they will be fixing their fishing gear during the winter. And we have 4 old artists, and we have 4 young artists, primitive artists on the island. We exhibited in New York many years ago in the University of New York, and we have exhibited in Manchester and the United Kingdom. We exhibited in Scotland, and we exhibited over and over again in Northern Ireland and in the south and Dublin and all over. So we are well known. Our artwork is in Tokyo. So we are well able to look after ourselves due to people, art lovers buying our artwork. Then we have a craft shop on the island, and then and then we have a few ladies knitting during the winter, having a lovely, great knitters all together. So, and then hopefully that our Gaeltacht Authority will employ more of the teenagers on Tory Island and the time to come in the near future.
Well, Patsy, now I want to get to one of the problems about what's been going on with Tory Island. As I said, my mother's from Pettigo and Donegal, and it's amazing how you meet people who have been to Ireland many times, but they only go to Galway and they go to Kerry and Cork, and they can't just seem to make it up to County Donegal. And one of the major problems was the boat out to Tory Island. And just recently, the government there bought a boat for Tory Island that was 20 or 30 years old to bring people back, that was ferrying other people at another island, and you led a protest down in Dublin. Now, how did that come about that they couldn't get a proper boat for Tory Island, that they gave you a hand-me-down?
Well, I have to answer that, yes. We have a minister that is a Gaeltacht minister, and then we depend on him now, and we left Dublin at that serious meeting and saying and promising us, which would be, I'm sure, as handwritten with a guarantee that we will have this ferry, more modern ferry and stabilizers and so on, that will keep it more settled at sea, and that visitors will be much happier coming to Tory Island, traveling to Tory Island within the next 2 and 2.5 years. And we are taking his word for that. And also, this minister also should be able to fight for Donegal and to get more visitors to Donegal, and not alone to Donegal, but out to Tory Island. And we would like to send a message to Dublin that we are behind the book in many ways, and they should wake up, and the minister for the Gaeltacht and other people as well, to fight, county council authorities to fight for Tory and get more visitors to the island.
And speaking of visitors, I'll be over visiting you in the second week of, or the third week of September. What is there to do when you come over there? I know sometimes you have music festivals, but you have your art that you can go see. So what should people look forward to? Anybody that's making plans right now? I know a lot of people are heading over. They're heading to the Flower and Drogheda and all over, and the festival in Galway. But what does Tory Island have to offer for people that will be coming over on the boat?
Well, I'll tell you that. First of all, we have a lighthouse that any visitor coming to the island, that it used to be the highlight of visitors to the island. Now it's a dead duck as far as the Commissioners of Irish Lights concerned in Dublin, and now we have an authorities in Donegal to look after this and fix the road to the lighthouse and leave the lighthouse as like any other lighthouse, that visitors can visit the lighthouse instead of the gates being closed there. So we are keeping with them and high profile, so that Tory Island lighthouse the gates will be opened and visitors will be able to visit Tory Island lighthouse like any other lighthouse. Then that's on the west end of the island, and in the middle of the island, over plus 1400 years ago, Saint Columcille visited the island. And this was really the left a king on the island. One of the islanders as called Duggan to be the king of Tory Island, and every generation on Tory over the past 1400 years has seen a king being appointed on the island. Now, and then on the far end of the island, on the high cliffs of Tory Island, We have the puffins there every year, and many coming to see the puffins, and then to hear also another bird called the concrete, which calls every night almost on the island for 2 or 3 months during the summer months, a great famous bird called the concrete. And on the high cliffs of Tory Island, on the east end, Buller with the evil eye was supposed to be from Africa, originally from Africa, was there at the term. We don't know what term, whether it was 2 or 3 years, but a few thousand years ago, and his history lives on. And he was brought to the mainland, slaughtered on the mainland, and buried in Dunlewy. So the history of Tory Island stays on Tory, that a Fomorian was on Tory Island with a plusless eye, or whatever they call it, evil eye. So that's still history is with us. So the island is full of history for any visitor that will come. And then we have two college on the island. We have a health centre on the island. We have a hostel on the island. We have a hotel on the island. We have social club on the island. Cayley every night. Irish music every night. And we have guest houses on the island. And we have flats on the island.
And Patsy, Dan, when I was listening to that documentary on RTE, and it was great, and you came across great on it, and it said, and it mentioned about you having medical problems and cancer, and then just the long journey that you have to make. And I believe you go down for chemotherapy to Dublin, and it is such a long journey. And how is your health lately? Because I know when I was talking to your sister and everything, they were telling me that you went down for another round of chemotherapy. But what's it like for someone getting sick on the island and then going down to a hospital all the way in Dublin?
Well, thank you sincerely for that. Yes, well, I received my chemo in Letterkenny Hospital, which is near to us.
Right.
I received my chemo there, and then I only have to go to Dublin for a checkup. And, of course, was operated in Dublin in the Mater Hospital. The doctors and the nurses in Ireland now, north and south, have learned a lot, and they are absolutely powerful, nurses and doctors, not alone looking after me, but looking after thousands of patients. And we quite respect them and thank them sincerely. So I am waiting now for results. And I asked my friends in a number of states and the United States of America, especially Long Island, where we have relations there, and New York and what have you. And I can't name my friends all. And Long Island, and I can't name them all, but New Jersey and all over, and we sent our best wishes to our relations and friends in those states. And pray for me that the results will be much hopefully will have a light in my reports. Thank you sincerely.
Well, Patsy, Dan, we're going to start winding it up here. And I know on the island, the first language is Irish, Gaelic, and you're in the Gaeltacht there, all the way down from Glencolmkill up through Gweedore and up to the Tory Island. Maybe now you could take a couple of minutes and speak in your native tongue about why we have Irish speakers in the audience between Mike Costello out in New Jersey and Abernathy and Queens. Speak to them in the native tongue about why they should come to Tory Island.
Well, ta an luhar go jorim go na janwalat a new aura. Agus ta Minister for the Girl ta ara girta to go an dal Eireann agus ta ma ta ortagus misnat agay go gojai an dal Eireann a go gojai dal Eireann as go gojai Joe McCune sin ara na girta as go mai Tory go mai Bunwell Harry as go fada Bunner Harry, an island called the Jewel of the North Atlantic. And we are now bringing that title back again after hundreds of years. It used to be called the Jewel of the North Atlantic. Agus an is, ta sulis of go to train quarteri go gianellan. Milti, la Kuruji, and we hope to see you as well on Tory in the near future. And guess who is coming to the island? Leo Enright, that reports the rocket going to the moon, is coming out for a day in September to visit me and visit the island.
Well, listen, maybe I'll be bumping into him because I'll see you now in a couple of weeks' time when I take the boat over. And there's many ferries that go over every day. There's at least 3 or 4.
That's right.
You can go over and make the day. Listen, let me tell you, we've had a lot of people on this show, from John Hume to the prime ministers and the Taoiseachs and the presidents and Michael D. Higgins' wife and everything. But I'm telling you, we've never had the king of Ireland coming on. And Patsy, Dan, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
John,
What an honour, and many, many thanks to give on behalf of my wife and family and the community of Tory Island. God bless you all and our friends and relations in America, and hopefully to see them in the near future on Tory Island, including yourself.
Yes, this is Martin Galvin. I'm John's co-host, and I just want you to know we actually criticize and make fun of people who go out of their way to shake hands with British royalty. But we're very proud to have you on, and that John will be shaking hands with someone of Irish royalty, which is quite a different thing.
Yeah, fair play to you. God bless, and we hope to make friends all over the world as we are since the past 22 years, and make more friends.
All right, thank you. And that was the King of Tory Island, or we would say the King of Ireland, Patsy Dan Rogers. If you want to see his artwork, just type in the name Patsy Dan Rogers or the King of Tory Island, and you'll see his artwork pop up. It goes for quite a few shillings or quite a few quid that because it's that in demand. And right now we're going to go to a song by one of the locals on the island who helped set up the interview, Sarah E. Cullen. And we're going to play a little song from her. And we come out, we're going to head over to Derry, across the border.
Sick of the city, there's just too much information. It don't look very pretty. People full of frustration, running around with furrowed brows, charging through night and day. And everything's gotta be right now. And living has just rushed away. People here got no patience for dreamers with notions like mine.